You know, I go places, people ask me where am I from. Well, there's 3 states here, Mississippi, Tennessee, Arkansas. I spend about as much time in one as I have the other one. So pretty soon you don't know where you're from. Now, where we live here in Mississippi is near 3 state lines. Like I said, I lived in all 3 states, and I don't know exactly where I'm from. There's Mississippi, Tennessee, and Arkansas. I put them all 3 together, and I call it SuperChikan. To a John Deere tractor pulled me from a warehouse to a Peterbilt trucking in Tennessee. I played the blues in Arkansas, sitting under a pecan tree. You know, there's not very many people playing diddly bows anymore. And diddly bow should be one of the most recognized instruments because it's one of the Delta's first blues instruments. But you know, everybody kind of like, when the guitar came out, it was kind of like made the diddly bow obsolete and people a little bit, you know, embarrassed. Especially musicians, they was a little embarrassed about playing it. That's how Bo Diddley got his name, was from the diddly bow. Because he was one that had the nerves to come out like me and play the diddly bow, but he was having a problem with his fellow musician friends. They laughed at him because he had a square guitar. You know, they had these big Roger guitars, I call them, big acoustic guitar, you know. And they was all uptown. You know, a couple of them had electric guitar, and they laughing at Bo because he had that square guitar. But all of the fans loved this Bo Diddley, loved the diddly bow, loved his sound, and they started calling him Bo Diddley because he played the diddly bow. And they loved it, and he was having a problem. He wanted to please everybody. He wanted to please his fans, and he wanted to please his fellow musicians as well. Stop them from laughing at his instruments. So what he did, he went and had him a guitar, a real guitar made, where he made the guitar square. So the musicians, his fellow friends said, oh, he got a real guitar now. But when he got on stage and played, his fans thought he was still playing the diddly bow. And he played so much different. Well, he really got improved on that diddly bow. So he played it a good different. These diddly bows got a lot of stories, you know. Being a sharecropper, and the Johnson family had to pick like a bale and a half to 2 bales a day. In order to get the right amount of cotton, you had to work, you had a rhythm. You had to have a rhythm when you're picking cotton. You can't just pick cotton and talk and pick cotton and talk. Oh, you don't get that. You have a rhythm, you keep your mouth closed, you put your, what they say, hump back, put that hump in your back, keep your mouth closed, and work with a rhythm. And the best rhythm we could get, well, sometimes there would be a horse or a mule or some foxtrot, down the road. We'd use that rhythm for a while, but they were trained, we could hear it way before we got to it. And when locomotives back then, they had a rhythm whether y'all knew it or not. And just like I said, the chickens are rhythmic too. Chickens had a rhythm as well. But that old train, we could hear it way away. No problem. I thought you were going to play one.
Oh, no.
I've handed to a lot of musicians and I hand it right back to you.
After you do that, for sure, I'll hand them right back to you.
I said, that's your roots. That's where it all started. All right, just let me show my other guy.
Oh, please do, yeah, absolutely.
This is my butterfly dignity, and I just finished me a butterfly guitar last night. Don't y'all get afraid now, I'm still a chicken. I'm not gonna ever get done with my roosters. I keep my roosters. That's Benny. That's my pet rooster. His name was Benny. We had a Sunday dinner one day, and Mama had chicken for dinner, and Benny was missing. And I wouldn't eat.
Well, you better come on here and eat. You gonna starve to death.
I said, Mama, you done cook Benny.
Well, ain't nobody cook no Benny. Benny out so well cooked.
I wouldn't eat all day long. When Benny showed up, all the food was gone. big butterfly. These are the colors that comes from a chicken's heart. This chicken particularly. One more. And then we'll flip them around.
Were your diddly bows always amplified?
No. Matter of fact, let me go back to this dilly bow. This dilly bow here is illegal. Back when I was a kid, a dilly bow shouldn't have no more than 3 to 4 strings at the most. There was a guy called Poindexter Lee once. I kept hearing some pretty music. He had carved him out a 6-string dilly bow. I wouldn't have never known the difference. I was only 5 years old. I walked up on him like to scare him to death. He made me promise not to never tell anybody that I saw him playing a 6-string dilly bow. He said they would string me up. He said, because that's disrespect to the Delta's first blues instrument. They wanted to keep it dilly bow, so they 3, 4 at the most. You might get by with 4, but 3 strings was the most that they played a dilly bow, because before then they only had 1 string and a gut bucket, a foot tub with a string tied and a broom handle on it for the bass. You know, they used that as a bass, and they had this 1 string, so they wanted to make a little bit of a different sound, so they put 2 more strings on to make it 3. So as far as we go, we keep it the dilly bow style. But this dilly bow come out. But the man told me in my day and age, I can make one 6 strings. But I want to step forward. I made 6 strings and electric.
For those of us that are new to Delta Blues, could you describe what Delta Blues is and how it's different from Chicago Blues?
Well, Delta Blues is like buttermilk and cornbread. Buttermilk, cornbread, poke salad. They got that in Mississippi. They don't have that in Chicago. That's about the best way I can explain it. Different. But Delta Blues started out with pretty much all acoustic.
Okay.
Until one night in 1949, Muddy Waters went right down here to this train station and slipped off, went to Chicago. Then they electrified it. Then they came back to Mississippi, electrified. So that's the difference in it. They went to Chicago and got electrified. It was acoustic when it started. That was a long time ago.
And a follow-up question, the action on the first diddly bow that you played it's a lot of action. Do you have to push hard on with your pinky on the slide?
No,
Make it
the
sound?
dilly bow is different than a regular guitar. You can't note a chord it like you do. You got to play with a slide.
Okay.
You gotta use a slide all the time, because I can put my fingers underneath these strings. See? You can't note the chord. I can put my finger underneath these strings. You gotta play with a slide all the time. Guitars got frets and a board. You can note the chord it, but you can't note the chord it.
Gotcha.
So all those notes you heard me hitting on here was in the air.
Yeah.
It was from the slide. That's why a lot of people don't play dilly bow, because they're trying to note it and they can't.
It's like a fretless bass or a fretless
Right. You gotta play with a slide. It's like a lap steel.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And is that standard tuning? Is it open tuning?
That's open tuning. That's an open E. I use about 3 different open E, open G, and what's the other one? D. But I like E better. D, G pulls it too tight. D is too low. E is just right. I play so much in E, they call me an E-man.